What a piece of junk!
This is the Shattered Order Podcast.
Go switch off!
If you're looking for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news, information, and theory crafting, you've found the podcast you're looking for. With your hosts, GoodNightPunk and WinKILLERinc.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 163rd episode of the Shattered Order Podcast. I'm your host, GoodNightPunk, and with me, as always, is my good friend, Wink. What's going on, Wink?
I just realized I'm an idiot.
Oh,
Should've
just
worn a
now.
Packer shirt.
Just now, huh?
I mean,
It finally dawned on you.
Bear season opened. Why am I not wearing my Packers gear tonight? That defense was off the hook, right? I can't give them full credit because Bears fans, I'm sorry. I've been saying it all off season. Mitchell Trubisky is awful.
Garbage?
They traded up to draft Mitch Trubisky and passed on Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
done.
as well as Deshaun Jackson.
Sorry, Bears
Or
fan.
Deshaun Watson, sorry. That's his name. They also passed on Watson.
Yeah, that is true too.
Literally
I
had
would
the
not say
pick
that
of the
was
litter.
successful.
Yeah. So
Yep. I almost feel bad
I
for
wouldn't
them.
I wouldn't call either of your offenses successful either, but well, if you look
our offense was absolutely atrocious.
if you want to look at the bright side, we'll say it was the Packers defense that made the Bears offense look so bad. We can go with that.
I will say this though. David Montgomery, he looked awfully damn good. I was really impressed by him, and I was so annoyed when the Packers didn't sign Allen Robinson. I'm jealous that the Bears have him. I think the guy is just incredible. So there are some Packers or some Bears players that I do like. There are even guys from their 2018 roster I like Adrian Amos. That guy seems like he's pretty good.
Yeah, that's that interception at the end of the game will do that to you.
Beautiful.
Before we get too far into talking and doing things, I want everyone to know that we are doing a blue giveaway tonight. So, if you're watching the live stream, this is for you. Type ! Bingo into chat to get your bingo card and start now. If you fill out a bingo, send it to me or Wink on Discord to check and see if you got it first. The first person to send us a complete bingo card with actual things signed off that actually happened will win their choice a blue prize. Blue microphones prize. So we got microphones, we got the boom stand, we got all kinds of good stuff. So type in that bingo, get yourself a card, and get ready for some fun. So I know that I saw people asking if some things counted for the bingo card already, and I didn't want people to feel like they got screwed and didn't get their card in time. So put it in now, get your card, and start filling it out.
Heck yeah. And just a heads up to all of you audio-only listeners, we like to do this on occasion. We have some cool stuff that goes on the live stream. Friday nights, generally around 8:15 Pacific. Come hang out if you've never come and hang out with us on Twitch. It is a lot of fun, I promise.
For sure. I love the Twitch.
So,
Twitch chat, adding Twitch chat to the podcast has made it a lot more fun because I love talking to you, but it's always nice to get, other people's ideas in the chat to also talk about on the stream. So I can deal with that.
Totally agree. All right, so what do we got this week?
Well, it's been a rough week for me, so Wink will not be trying to pronounce things this week. But that segment will make its return next week. The problem was I outsourced...
Oh, you know what I should have asked?
What?
I should have asked... I don't have it saved on soundboard. Never mind.
I saw you clicking the screen. I was like, I don't know. Because I was...
Damn it, work!
I tried to outsource... Wink tries to pronounce things this week to somebody else to have them put it together. And Jerry fell through. So I want to thank Jerry for not having this segment this week. Yeah. Look.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, it's constant letdowns for that guy.
I bet he lied to you. I bet he got it all filled out and actually burnt down his damn computer trying to send it to you.
Yeah. That or he's just sabotaging us because we're constantly talking trash. I don't know. Whatever it is, Jerry, screw you. All right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to this.
Hey guys, what did you do in SWGOH this week?
Man, what an exciting SWGOH week.
It's been pretty good.
Kind of.
Well, pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, not anything exciting, at least for me. Things are exciting over there for you.
Well, things are kind of exciting over here. You definitely have nothing to talk about at all, so we'll go ahead and I'll go first, and then you can tell everyone what you didn't do. So I have to say, I absolutely love it when a clone dies. It fills my heart with joy, and it fills my heart with so much joy that I threw a Zeta on 5s. That way, clones dying is even more exciting. So, yeah, that Zeta ability where he gives all of his stats to other people. I threw the Zeta on him. Did it today just for the territory war opened up because I kind of wanted to have that in there. And the part of the reason why I did it was because I did something in this last territory war, which we won, by the way, where I tackled a Grievous team that was pretty well modded. Not extremely well geared. That's the only thing that I find slightly concerning. Let's see, where was it? It was a... Sorry, I'm trying to find the entire comp. I know I got it on here somewhere because I screenshot it. That way I wouldn't forget. Okay, so it was Gear 13 Double Zeta Grievous, who was modded well. Gear 12 B2, Gear 12 Magna Guard, Gear 11 7-star Droideka, but only a 5-star B1, but had its Zeta. B1 was Gear 10 also. And I was like, I kind of want to test something new and see if it could beat this team, because I hate fighting Grievous teams, are the worst, and I'd like to find something else besides my Jedi Knight Revan team. So I decided to test a team that I use quite often against, like, Old Republic teams, and that is a Rex lead with your boy Wampa, Stormtrooper Han, 5s, and Echo. And it just smashed it. I mean, it just stomped the freaking crap out of it.
That was
thoroughly destroyed it.
Beautiful. I like
what?
it. I said beautiful.
Yeah, so you have all the turn meter gain from Rex. You have the turn meter gain from Stormtrooper Han taunting, but B2 will get rid of the taunt before too long. But Stormtrooper Han still removes turn meter. So that allows you to get through a lot of turns, especially with all the B1 assists. You have a lot of not crits. You have a lot of attacks coming in, and just a lot of attacks in general from that team. But Rex's leader ability, it allows you to gain decent amount of turn meter. With all that turn meter going on, Rex got his the cooldown on his special reduced pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Echo can remove buffs. That leads to a fully exposed General Grievous with Rex holding a nuclear bomb, and you drop it, and then you just smash everything else into oblivion.
I was going to say laugh maniacally.
It was spectacular. Yeah, like the Grievous laugh. I should get that on the soundboard. That'd be a good one. Dude, I really was. I was shocked. And Echo has the AoE droid stun. I didn't, because that's an Omega ability. I didn't have that on him either, so I didn't get to make use of that whenever I did his AoE, which probably would have helped even more. I mean, I was really, really impressed with this team. This was also before I Zetaed 5s, so I've put that Omega on Echo and Zetaed 5 since then.
Which
so I kind
Zeta?
of think that this team would...
He's got 2.
On 5s? Yeah, it's the one where he dies and he gives all those stats.
Not the turn meter one.
So, correct.
Gotcha.
That's
probably the way you should do it.
I'm gonna test this against. I'm gonna find a stronger General Grievous team this next one and try this team again, see how it does. Like I said,
mark your bingo
very
cards.
Impressed, very, very impressed. Yeah, you're gonna be marking a lot. I mean, you're not. Believe me, if you got a yawn on the bingo card, you're good tonight. Yeah. So the 5s. Here's how I've got this cap modded, right? All right. So the fact that he gives all these stats whenever he dies completely changed the way that I wanted to mod him. So I went with a health set and an offense set. The only sets you really want to go with are sets of stats that he can then pass on to all the other clones. So, like defense, potency, tenacity, that's not stuff you particularly want to put on 5s, especially if you have weak clones. Like, I have some weak clones I'll be using with them, so I'll be able to take advantage of, them dying probably and triggering a yawn. So I got an offense set with a health set. I went with 3 protection primaries, 2 offense primaries, and then I basically sorted by offense. So I was looking for mods with high offense, and I was looking for mods with decent speed. I have a protection primary on him that has some additional speed, 12 speed. Nothing too crazy, but not too shabby either. I don't know. I think this is probably a pretty good way to mod him. It's maybe not optimal if you're planning on no one to die. But if you're planning on someone dying, I think this is a pretty good way to go.
Good Lord.
Dude, I don't know.
You should find that Reddit
I-
post and post it for people at some point. Because I'm sure a lot of people would like to see it. Because I think it was posted
post?
in the modding crew post.
I will get there in a second.
I thought you just talked about modding crew.
5s.
All right, forgive me. I'm future man.
Yes. Yeah. No, that was 5s because of the stat sharing and such. The other thing I did was I remodded Spy, Geo Spy, to have absolutely insane crit chance because of the things he gets whenever he crits. He gets stealth, which is required to use his nuclear bomb ability. So I'm testing it. We'll see how it does in territory war. You know, maybe I'll go find a Traya team to attack or something like that with my bugs and just kind of see what happens. Just to test it. But the other thing that I did was I beat my Grand Arena opponent in round 1, which was super exciting because I have 8 Gear 13 characters. This fool had 16 Gear 13 characters. 16! Just crazy. So he had double my Gear 13, and we had the same number of Zetas. We had very similar speed mods. I had quite a few more 6-stop mods. But there's always a yawn coming. The thing that I failed to consider is some of my teams can do okay on defense, apparently. And the thing that actually, I won that match by 5 points. And the reason that I won was because he slipped up on my first order team and crew got him. So naturally,
Good.
I was so happy with crew. I wanted to reward him in some way. So I Gear 13'd him. I'm up to 9 now. Gear 13 crew, very exciting. And as you mentioned, there was an interesting Reddit post this week talking about crew, which led to me doing a little bit of remodding. And I would like to give a shout out to R3S6 was innocent, who is in our Discord channel. He made a calculator a while back. It's like just a spreadsheet calculator, pretty basic. And it is pinned, is a pinned message in Do You Even Mod Bro section of our Discord channel, discord.me/shatteredorder. You can find it. And you can put in like your defense, your health, your protection, and it will spit out your effective total hit points. And you can compare it. Like you can set up 2 different ones. You can see which one's higher, which setup is better. Which leads us into that Reddit post where somebody dug into the mods of crew and essentially determined that if you haven't already noticed, you probably should have, but a defense set bonus is 25%. A defense primary is 20%. A health set bonus is 10%. A health primary sliced is 16%. So if you compare the two, defense, the set bonus offers more than a primary. On health, it's the exact opposite. The primary stat on a single mod offers more than the set bonus does. And using that logic, he was able to go through, do some math, do some calculation, and figure out the best way to mod crew. And ultimately, he ended up figuring out that going with 3 defense sets with some health primaries is the best way to go. What'd you think of that post?
When I read it, I was actually thinking exactly about the defense stuff we were talking about for mods. We're talking about defense on mods. So I know a lot of people have defense mods they don't know what to do with, even like primary or set defense mods. So this is a really good thing to think about with your crew, considering a lot of people need health now. So if you were to use those defense mods on him that have decent health on them, it would free up other characters, and basically you could stretch your mods a lot more. I think it's awesome. It's a really good post.
So I want to dig into this a little bit more because I love what the post did, and it kind of led me into digging into this a little bit more. Because I've looked into it some, but I haven't dug into the interactions between health, protection, and defense nearly to the degree that I have, like, offense, crit chance, crit damage. I have a very good grasp on that, not so much on this defense stuff, so I'm going to keep exploring into it. But I want to point out some things that were not covered in that post that I haven't seen anyone else cover or mention that I think are incredibly important when thinking about this and calculating your your effective HP. So my crew, for example, switching to defense sets does not make him better. It actually makes him considerably worse. And this is for a couple reasons. This is because, one, I have an absolute shit ton of health mods that are pretty good just because you get health mods all the
From
time.
everything?
From all these. Yeah, basically everything gives you a health mod. If it exists in SWGOH, it gives you a health mod. And when you get so many of these mods, you're eventually going to end up with a lot that have pretty good stats. When you start ending up with a lot of these mods that have really good stats, in particular, health and defense, whenever you start trying to stack those up and you start looking at a character like Crew, one thing that you'll notice is the set bonus might not be the best way to go as far as defense, because you might have some really good health mods that offer enough bonus health on them or enough defense or something like that that counteracts what an adequate replacement would be on your character to make him more survivable. So using this logic, I used the calculator that I mentioned in our Discord channel, and I took my General Kenobi and I remodded him. I sliced up a health primary defense set that I had, and I put one defense set on General Kenobi, and it increased his health, it increased his defense, and it increased his speed. That's pretty much a no-brainer. You don't need a calculator to tell you that that's better than the alternative. But it starts getting more complicated when one thing's going up and one thing is going down. And that's what's great about the calculator. You can punch it and figure it out. But anyway, so I remodded my General Kenobi, jacked up his defense a little bit more. I think he has 2 defense sets, 1 health set now. He's around 66,000 health, 62% defense. So he's pretty tanky. I mean, he seems to take damage better, but I haven't got to use him a ton yet since doing this remodding. But my crew, for example, whenever I tried to remod him, I ended up at 55 or 57% defense. I can't remember which. I guess I could look. And 74,000 health. And there was just not any way to make him any better. Yeah, 74,600 health with 55.25% defense. You know, using the formula, I couldn't really make him any better with anything that I had. You know, putting a set bonus on him due to the amount of health that it would cost me, or the amount of whatever it is that I had on those mods, due to that exchange, he actually became less survivable. He may gain a little bit of defense, but he would lose a ton of health, and that becomes pretty ineffective. It's kind of the same way as, you know, whenever we talk about the offense versus crit damage, it kind of depends on your crit chance, and there's always kind of that spot in the middle where it kind of teeter-totters back and forth, where you want to find a spot that, you know, makes it most effective for your team comp. It's kind of the same thing with this health and defense stuff. You want to be looking for mods that, you know, especially if you're trying to make a character tanky like Kenobi or Crew, for example, you won't be looking for, you know, secondary defense, secondary health, and try to make them as survivable as possible. But that may not necessarily be with a defensive set. So go read the post. It's great. I'll link to it in the show notes. Go check it out. But just keep in mind that secondary stats are absolutely a crucial, huge part of this and cannot be ignored, because it will drastically change things. You should not be putting 3 defense sets on Crew because you think it's better, because it actually might not be. Most people don't have anywhere near the number of defense mods that you have health mods, which means there's a far better chance of you having some elite health mods as far as creating stuff that will make you survivable. So just keep that in mind whenever you read that post and check it out. And I'm going to try to dig into this a little bit more, hopefully try to find a way to explain in detail more of like an exchange rate type thing and be able to balance all this stuff a little bit more, you know, because there's gotta be like, if you have any ideas, because I don't know, I haven't had time to dig into it a ton, but surely there's some sort of way to calculate all this stuff and get a really good idea. But yeah, that was fun. Remodding crew. Oh, one other thing that I do want to mention, that post is more or less for Gear 13 crew. Gear 12 crew, you're still gonna want to go health, because his health doesn't increase. I mean, it does increase a decent amount, but it's not considerable like it is on defense. His defense jumps up so much when you go from Gear 12 to Gear 13 that those defense sets do become really good. But you're not... He gains a lot of defense in Gear 12. That's not being calculated into those mods. Not to mention his Gear 13 or his Gear 12 finisher adds an absolute ridiculous amount of defense. So, due to the fact that all that's not being calculated in, if you're at Gear 12, stick with all the health, and I think you'll be in a better spot. But of course, get the calculator, play with it, and optimize your crew a bit.
I would comment on it, but we've been in chat. We've been trying to determine what's a comparable weight structure to a metric shit ton or an ass load. So there's been a lot of discussion trying to figure out.
Lord.
Maybe put a number to it, but we haven't quite figured it out. So.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. My week was so I was able to do 2 arena battles during your what did I do this week? So thanks for that.
Oh yeah.
I won both. So on auto. Great times.
Hell yeah.
My week was a lot shorter than that, but basically what it boiled down to was a lot of gearing of characters, including I did get that 7 Carbonti salvage or Carbonti. I needed some kind of salvage last week to get Django to Gear 12. So I finished Django. Django's now Gear 12. So all my separatists are Gear 12 again. Then I went on. Question. Okay, hit me.
What are you doing with Django?
What am I doing with Django? Admiring the fact all my separatists are Gear 12. Have I used him? No. Okay. I was just curious.
So somebody mentioned earlier how good his Zeta is against Night Sisters, because I love using Bounty Hunters against Night Sisters. But that Zeta of his, where enemies killed by him can't be revived, not gonna lie, I am super tempted to throw that on him just because I like Bounty Hunters for Night Sisters, and not having to wait for Boba's execute every time to nuke one would be so nice.
Yeah, I could see that for sure, because that's what makes that team so damn annoying. So that would make sense. I'm with you. Yeah, so Django's Gear 12, just because. Gear 12, next on I worked on, so I have Rex at Gear, all my clones are Gear 11. They all have been for a long time. So I worked on Rex's Gear 12, has always been, just because of the fact that he's a great leader and I like to use him for a lot of things. So he stayed Gear 12, or he's always been Gear 12, but I just got 5s to Gear 12. And if you know this podcast and know me, you know I had the turn meter Zeta on 5s forever, since the Heroic AT. Mm-hmm. And so I gave him the other one this week. The same one you said that you gave him. When he dies, he sacrifices himself. Or not when he dies. When someone else dies, he sacrifices himself. So now he's double Zetaed 5s. He's at he's up there with a lot of the top of my roster now, after the double Zeta and the Gear 12, because of just those Zetas. Under those 3 Zeta people, right at the top. But it's funny because I remember in the first year of this game, 5s was always at the top of my roster as well. Just because he was the tank and he had all that gear, he always seemed to have one of the highest of the old power system. Hey, camera, can you find me? There we go. the old power system. So, yeah. Random thought, just for everyone out there that's played for a while. Do you remember how you could cheese Galactic Wars 11th and 12th nodes?
Yes, I remember those days.
You'd go to swga.gg and find your 5 highest galactic power characters and put them in on a team on the first node, so that the last first and 11th and 12th nodes had like gear 1, 2, and 3 level characters on it. Oh, that was classic.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Oh, yes.
Gear 12 5s and Zeta, and then the big one, my most exciting thing that I did this past week, and I said I was going to do it last week, and I did. My Wampa is now ready for relics, because my Wampa is now gear 13. Now, I still need to remod him. I haven't really done anything with him since I got him to gear 13, but I think his 4,500 physical damage at gear 13 now without the mods, without new mods on him. So once I start putting some offense mods on him, he is just going to be an even bigger beast, and I'm loving it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the actual the relic they have for him is, because that'll be interesting. And then I can't wait to start putting him on him. So super stoked to get Wampa to gear 13. Now I have 3. Let's see, Grievous, Malik, and Wampa. So I'm going to start focusing on getting more to gear 13. I think I've got most of the characters I want to gear 12 for now. But then also our main topic for this show might change that idea considerably. So we'll see. But never know. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I was going to mention that we had another territory win to start off the month. Pat our guild Shattered Order on the back. I don't think we did a couple weeks ago, and I know a lot of them listen, but top 40 in Territory Wars last month, so good job to you guys. Pretty proud of that.
Heck yeah.
So
yeah, that's not too shabby at all.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for my week.
Cool.
So
well,
no.
Let's move on to this then.
Strong with us, this update is Young Padawans.
What about this mini update?
Okay, so they posted a state of the... Sorry. Someone was asking about me about Wampa, so I got distracted. This week, they posted their State of the Galaxy for September 2009. They had a few things in here. I just wanted to cover them real quick. Basically, they covered Grand Arena Championships a little bit. They talked about the bumps and bruises for Grand Arena Championships. We all know plenty about those. How 2 at least have been canceled and had to be rescheduled. Lots of points being awarded for things they shouldn't be. People getting points before they're even available. Just a lot of weird stuff. So far in this first Season 1 Grand Arena Championship, besides it starting late because the one before that had problems, has been pretty good, but they acknowledge that there's been a lot going into the exhibitions to get this first one going. So, but they also said they are looking into other things with it for the near and long-term future of Grand Arena Championships, including for near-term better messaging. I don't really know what they're referring to there, because the only messaging I have in game is messaging my opponent, and I don't know how they could make that better. So unless it's, hey, you have 2 hours left, go and fight your opponent, or hey, it's been 12 hours out of the 24, go fight your Grand Arena opponent, stuff like that for messaging. I don't really know what they're going for there, but updating scoring and point gains, that should be a interesting one as they go forward. I know a lot of us have talked about defense, getting points for defense, so that it kind of attempts to push this away from the current meta of Grand Arena Championships, where most people will set a okay defense and save most of their stuff for offense, knowing that if the opponent clears and they can't, they're going to lose. So trying to just clear as efficient as possible. Hopefully there'll be some kind of added scoring for defense to try to make that a viable thing, but we don't know yet. It'll be interesting how that goes. And then the last one is expanding fleets, which to me just means adding them since they're not in there. So, although I don't like that idea, I know it's going to come anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
But the interesting part is the long-term view stuff. New modes, which I can assume is, 5v5 plus ships, or 3v3 with ships, 3v3 only, to add to the 5v5 version they have now. And if you count how many of those I just named off, that's 4, and there's 4 weeks. So it would be interesting if we got to what the old Grand Arena format was. They had those 4 formats, and if that ended up being 4 Grand Arenas in the Grand Arena Championship with one of each of those, I could definitely see that happening. But I don't know. That
would be very interesting.
Yeah, because to me it would make more sense to do each in their own Grand Arena Championship, but those are so long that it seems like something they wouldn't do.
Yes.
Like a 4. I know a lot of people, if they had to suffer through a 4-week 3v3 Grand Arena Championship, they probably would not enjoy it. So we'll see what happens. And
it would change it up, every week you got something a little bit different. I would like that. I think we've talked about that before, and so I think it's a good idea.
Better seasonal wrapping. Hopefully that means figuring out a way to not take 7 days to wrap up a Grand Arena, so that if we take a week off, it's Grand Arena starts a week earlier than 2 weeks after the last one because of the week of review. So we'll see how that goes. But these words here are the ones that got a lot of people talking this week from the State of the Galaxy, and that is expanded inter-guild matches. They're talking about expanding inter-guild matches, but at the current moment, we don't have a way to inter-guild match at all. So I don't know exactly what this was referring to, if it's hinting at something coming or what, but it is definitely an interesting proposition. If I could just start up a, 1 week Grand Arena for our guild just to have fun whenever we wanted to, that would be awesome. I don't know if that's what it's talking about, but I'm just thinking out loud. That would be cool. But inter-guild matches, that'd be the perfect way to test things. I know a lot of people would be down with this, so I don't know. I don't know if it said inter or inter. Let me go find out for you.
No, it did say inter. I always forget the difference between inter and intra. So inter is between guilds, and intra would be inside of your own guild. Thank you, Joker. But yeah, that's so I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe they're referring to like the 3v3 stuff they've talked about in the past. They've mentioned that they would like to move to having 3v3 territory wars and stuff like that. That would be really cool. Actually, that wouldn't be cool because we've been doing pretty well in territory war, and I'd like to keep that streak going. But if they change things up, I would have to resign from territory war general because I suck at 3v3. So
I love 3v3 so much. I hope it comes back.
Yeah. I'm sure it will.
It's my favorite. And I got a whole... what I'm not looking forward to is updating that 3v3 graphic. There's a lot
There'll be a lot of updating.
I don't have I don't have GBA on there. I don't have... what's a GBA? What would you do with GBA 3v3? GBA 3v3 team. GBA Poggle and GBA Poggle and Spy. That's right off the top of my head.
I kind of think I would probably go spy and maybe soldier, just because of all the turn meter gain. He would allow, going a lot more often. I think that's the way I'd go.
That could make sense. It probably would be.
Hard to say.
Yeah,
A lot of options.
I think I'm with you because you don't really need. I don't know. It's tough. It's a lot. So GBA would be on there. Grievous. I think I don't know if Grievous was on the last one. At least not the reworked Grievous on the image.
I'm not sure.
And then you got the clones now. I mean, there's so many things that need to update that image for.
Yep.
All right. So.
It would be interesting.
For sure. Other things. We had cheating was on there. So let me go back here so I can open up our notes.
No, not cheating. Damn it, people, why do you gotta cheat?
Big surprise. Cheating was listed on the State of the Galaxy. After everything that went on, it makes complete sense that they had like 5 paragraphs on this. But they talked about the fact that they introduced new tools and manual review with employees with more dedicated hours to it. So they've added more employees to whose only job is that for certain amounts of hours a week is to manually review cheating reports and some of their own tools catches. Apparently, from the stats they put out in this post, they've taken action against 4 times as many accounts in August as July. 4 times 1 is 4. That's just a little bit of math there. Not saying that is the amount, but that's a math equation. 96% of those, 96% of those actions were permabans, irrespective of spend level. So it doesn't matter if you spent $10,000 or $1. If you cheated, 96% of those people got.
I like it.
96% of people got permabanned. They're still monitoring several thousand accounts, so they also have inconclusive evidence on thousands of accounts, and they're keeping eyes on those ones. So if they do something that breaks the rules, then they will be gone. I see that pity laugh there, Wink. Thank you. And they're looking into expanding the cheat report system to include comments, also with a section of reporting what kind of cheating you believe them to be doing. As far as I know, there's only one way to cheat, so it'll be interesting to see what the different options are. But yeah, bad pun. Thanks, Freedom Whiskey. Talking about a battle report summary. So this is a hot button topic as well for a lot of people when it started being mentioned to us. Battle report system. They're talking to SWGOH.gg about exposing this data to them to display results. That data being what team fought yours, how much damage each character did, and who killed who. Basically, completely exposing any and all counters in the game. If people were
controversy,
if you didn't want people to know about your Rex, Wampa, Stormtrooper, Han, Echo 5's team, this would put it out in the open regardless. So I know that there are a lot of people for it, and I know people that are against it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It seems like it is actually going to happen. I don't care, man. Honestly, it's not a big deal to me, but I know people that it is a big deal to, and so I'm not going to. Their feelings are valid. How's that?
I will say this: when somebody takes down one of my good teams with one shot, I wonder what the hell they used. That being said, I don't want anyone else knowing what I used against their crap, so I'm not really sure how to feel. I think we should get points though. I think we should know how many points they scored against the team. Like, why can't you do that? You basically do that in Territory War. I mean, it's hard to track down exactly, obviously, but you could figure it out maybe. I think they should give us, the number of points they get per team. Just like when you go in, click on it, next, you see the team highlighted as defeated, have the points they scored out there next to it. Very simple. That would be great.
Yep, we'll see what happens. The last bit of the State of the Galaxy was saving road ahead post for November, not October, because of light side territory battle already being announced. So we can look forward to the road ahead coming in October instead of October like it was last year. So in lieu of that, they'll probably put out a State of the Galaxy October 2019 next month, and any month without a road ahead. That's what I read out of it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Cool.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have any strong feelings.
Nah, not a big deal. It's not to me, at least. So, there you go.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next?
I think we have Twitch giveaways from last week. I hope you downloaded the thing.
No, you were supposed to. I can't
I
do it.
downloaded it last week. The reason you were going to do it this week was because I don't have anything to open it. I don't have Excel.
Well, you never sent it to me.
I
Oh my god.
Okay, look. Maybe-
This is embarrassing.
All right, watch. Maybe if I upload it to Google Docs, then I can open it.
Should be able to. So we'll go ahead and move on to this while he tries to figure that out.
Since everyone loves a good poll, let's dance through the results and see what you thought this week.
Alrighty, so this week on the poll, we had some pretty exciting questions, I think. Let's see.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Did you get a bingo card?
no, I did not.
So you didn't got a bingo card in Discord.
No.
All right. Well, I got one from Ringer, so let's see what it says. All right.
Well,
He says, call out a comment from chat.
wait, hold on. Hold on, let me check.
You're
No,
telling...
I did get one. I got one from Joker at 11:18.
All right, let me see when I got mine. 11:14. So,
Okay.
let me check Ringers. He said, call out a comment from chat. Done. Bad pun. Done. Wink video goes low res. Something is called interesting. And football is mentioned.
You can't argue with any of those.
Sounds like a winner to me. So,
Yes.
I think Ringer is our winner, unless somebody posted something in
Awesome.
the actual Discord, which they did not. So it looks like
I did not
Ringer,
see anything.
Swugga Ringer, is our blue microphones giveaway winner. Congratulations, friend. Now let me find this thing and upload it.
Cool. All right. So, now that we got the bingo taken care of, congratulations, Ringer. Moving on to the poll. What is your current level of excitement for light side Geonosis territory battle on a 1 to 7 scale? 31% people said they were a 5, with 25% people being at a 6, another 13 at a 7, and below 5 was considerably smaller. I mean, there was 29% of people that were between 1 and 4. So most people are above average happy about or excited about the new territory battle. How are you feeling about this new territory battle?
I actually filled out the poll for once, and I chose a 4. I'm right in the middle. I'm neither super excited or down on it. I'm just kind of like,
Okay.
is it going to be on par with Dark Side? Is it going to be way stupid harder? I think we waited a lot. I can't remember how long we waited between territory battles the first time. I feel like it was a lot longer than this.
Feels like it was 6 months.
Yeah, so I feel like since these are closer together, they should be closer in difficulty, but we'll see what happens.
Are they gonna be closer? We got this one in May or June, and we'll be getting the other one in November. That's about the same as the last one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. See what happens.
If anything, maybe a little longer. I don't know. All right. So, who do you think the light side heroes of Geonosis will be? So, the far and I think this was like a multi-choice. You could select 5 or something. There was the leader far and away as far as leaders was Padme at 90%. Shakti was 61, with Mace Windu at 55, General Kenobi 48, and Anakin at 43. Everyone else was considerably lower than that.
I just
That's
still
crazy for that
cannot
many votes
believe
to have Padme that high.
Padme makes sense to me. I still cannot believe
I totally agree.
that Shakti is going to be a named hero for the light side territory battle.
I would be surprised too.
Like,
would
it
be
just
surprised.
doesn't make sense to me.
I guess it kind of depends on exactly the era that the territory battle is. If it's episode 2, yeah, I don't see that being likely.
Yeah.
3PO perhaps. I believe Wat Tambor is he is a hero. So it's possible that they could make 3PO one somehow.
Yeah, since they're very similar characters. I don't know, man. It's interesting. I do think Mace Windu's a pretty good suggestion there. I think
Totally agree.
I think
that rework is coming.
I think the 3 easiest to say for sure are Padme, Anakin, and Kenobi, simply because they were the 3 tied to posts in the arena.
Those are the 3 that I thought of too, for sure. And part of the problem is, so if that were to be the case, there would be considerable numbers of them being deployed into platoons, and it would also make it a little bit more beneficial to split them up, which could be problematic. So, that'll be interesting.
And to Joker's comment in chat, Shakti was at the Battle of Geonosis. You are correct. So was Plo Koon, Eth Koth, Isla Secura. I mean, what are the odds that they all become named heroes? So
yeah,
the only reason she has a leg up on any of those is because people are still farming her.
So there was another option in that for other, and here are the as far as options for other. It was a write-in. I don't want to say all of them, but almost all of them were like General Skywalker, General Anakin Skywalker, yada yada yada. I think there was a vote for Jar Jar, and there was a vote for a Hondo.
My favorite is Bistan.
Oh yes, yes. He tore it up at the Battle of Geonosis.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He finally gets
nasty.
He finally gets his time.
Nice. Yeah, so very exciting stuff there. Let's see. So the other thing is there's always been a new character as far as a character that you can collect shards from in the territory battle, like as the reward for the special mission. This one's obvious. The new Geonosis, it is. You're supposed to finish my sentence while I yawn. My God.
It was too fun to
Tambor,
watch you yawn.
obviously. Yeah, shut up. So who do you think the next reward will be? There were a lot of possible answers here, and overwhelmingly, over half of people said Dmoney.
Say that again?
Dmoney.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay. I don't know. Makes me think of Monday. I don't particularly like the name.
Monday.
That's fine.
Yeah, I already hate this guy.
Yeah, bastard. So like an unnamed 501st troop, or sorry, a named 50. Like the rest of these were all like group categories, and there was basically Jar Jar Binks and Dmoney, and Kai won by a long shot. So, yeah, people are expecting him at some point here pretty quick. If you selected other above, who else do you think would be rewards for the light side territory battle? I think one person misread the question, and the others were Pawns and Hondo.
Dude, if
based on what I know and what I see about everyone being excited about Hondo, I think that's probably most likely.
Hondo would be awesome. Now, thematically, this was part of the movie and never in the cartoons. And Hondo was never in any of the movies. So, if that matters, then you could take that into account here. But I don't think it really matters.
I think it should, but
I think it's more... I mean, Pawns also is the same deal as Hondo. Both those characters were... I mean, maybe Pawns was at the battle. We just didn't know who he was then. But I don't know.
Possible.
But you get Kai Adamundi makes the most sense from the idea of people that were in the movie and we know were on Geonosis.
Yep.
But other than that, the only other one I don't even know Jar Jar was on Geonosis. I know he was in that movie. I just don't know if he was at Geonosis.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how many additional new characters do you think we will get for the Geo Light Side Territory Battle? This is basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 plus. And 52% of people said 2, and 32% of people said 3.
I think we can all figure out why I said 2. Why 2 was the answer.
Okay, why?
Because 2 is what we have always gotten.
Is it?
Rolo and Hot Han, IPD and...
Yes.
IPD and who's the other one for the dark side? Do you remember?
I don't.
I can't remember who it is. Oh, the Imperial Stormtrooper guy. Not Stormtrooper, but Imperial Trooper guy.
Colonel Stark.
That's right,
Yep.
Colonel Stark. So, yeah, there's the 2 from the second one.
Okay.
From the third one, you have Watt and GBA. So I don't think it's hard to guess that we're probably getting 2. And there's always been one. So if you want to count characters that you could buy for beating territory battles, then the answer would be 3. Because in the first one you had in the first one you had Hoda. The second one you had Wampa. The third one you had Negotiator. So you can probably guess that there's going to be another one added to the store for Darkside. So that could be 3.
Perhaps.
But, yeah.
That's a good way of thinking about it. Had not thought about that.
I guess that's why the 32% said 3. That's probably where their thinking was.
Yeah.
So, I get it. Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Do you think we will get the suspected General Anakin before the Geo light side territory battle comes. 57% of people said yes, he will be rolled out shortly before they announce the LSTB. And that is what I totally agree with. I think they're a little ways off on territory battle. They just redid these clones. They didn't redo them for no reason, as they mentioned in the Q&A. And as we've discussed, there is a particular clone that has synergy with crit damage up, and no one you would ever pair him with gives crit damage up. It's a little weird.
Also in the QA, they mentioned a epic confrontation that they've been working on that they're going to give us more information about in the future. When in the future, I don't know. Maybe in the next 2 weeks. But
interesting.
Wouldn't that be
not
interesting?
See that part.
So that could be interesting there if that confrontation is Kenobi. That might not make a lot of people happy, considering how everybody loved the Malik event. Gear 13, all Gear 13, everything. Get your General Skywalker.
That sounds terrible. Sounds terrible.
Relics at level 3 required.
Yeah. I can't wait for this Relics update. I hope it comes sooner than later.
Hopefully it's later and after Kenobi, so it's not a requirement.
Nice. Yeah, that's totally fair. Totally fair.
Or Skywalker, not Kenobi.
Right. So, how many additional reworks do you think we will be getting for the Geonosis light side territory battle? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 plus? 3 was the about a third of people said 3. Another 23% said 2, and it just dwindles for the most part.
I think I said 5.
On either side of those. Did you?
I think I said 5.
Interesting.
Because I think...
Who all do you think?
I think all of the Jedi that are in the Galactic Republic are going to have some kind of change to them. Whether it's a rework or a touch-up. I hope it's a rework, because touching up those people is just not going to make them better. But I think they're going to have to do something to those characters before this drops. Because I'm not guaranteeing. I don't make guarantees anymore. But what was it? Nostradamus, I think that's what we used to say, is going to foresee Galactic Republic being the separatist version in this one. And if only like 5 or 6 of them are good, that'll be a problem. So I'm hoping that we see something similar to separatist droids with Galactic Republic Jedi, where a faction inside of a faction, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. We need something else to do with these characters. I would like to see them rework Qui-Gon Jinn's lead, because I was 8 on that, and it's a waste. It's terrible. Yeah. So, we will move on to the next question. Do you think Geonosis story battle were balanced with relics in mind? There was 7.5% of people who were deceived, and there was 93% or 92.5% of people that were not deceived and said yes.
See, I don't even know if I completely agree with you, because I feel like Gear 13. I think full teams of Gear 13 can probably make it through Phase 4, or Tier 4. Phase 4? Whatever you want to call it. But I think that they had relics. Well, okay, I guess that is the question. I think they had relics in mind, but I don't think they expected you not to be able to at least compete and possibly go 4 out of 4 in Phase 4 without relics, if your team was Gear 13. I think they knew relics were coming, and that would make it even easier, so they tuned it up that high for Gear 13, knowing that eventually relics would make it, I don't know, a menial task. So, yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That's the way I look at it, but you never know.
Cool. Current level excitement for relics.
All
It's kinda
over
split
the
up.
place.
Yeah, so the largest percent, so it looks like a stair step that goes down, then goes up, then goes down. The largest
It's a
percent
sine
of people
wave.
was 28% that said, yeah, it's sine wave basically. 28% said they were a 1, basically as little excited as you could possibly be. Then 18% said 2. 2.5% people said a 3, and then it climbs up from there to 15% to 22%, and then it tanks off to something less than that, like 10% and 3%.
Well, 7 didn't get the lowest amount of votes, so there is that.
That's true.
3 got one less vote than a 7, so it was. There are more people excited, like absolutely stoked for this, than there are people just about average. But
I'm a 7.
it's pretty close.
I'm definitely a 7.
I put a 5. I'm kind of excited. I still hate the Gear 13 thing, but they do look like a lot of fun, and I've been playing this game a long time. It's gonna take something really, really dumb and terrible to make me quit playing it. So knowing that in a year from now, probably most of my characters will be at Gear 13 using relics, I'm excited to see what relics morph into in that time, because it's going to be a completely different way to look at your characters going forward once you get them to Gear 13.
100%.
And for the longest time with Gear 12, you remember this, I would, and it's the same with Gear 13 now, for the longest time I would take my characters to Gear 11 and not worry about Gear 12. And then I started worrying about Gear 12 and taking all my characters to Gear 12. Well, right now it's the same thing. I'm taking all my characters to Gear 12 and taking specific ones to Gear 13. Eventually I will take them all to Gear 13. And over time, the way things are in this game, if you enjoy playing it, we're all going to be there eventually anyway. It's whether you want to be on the tip of the spear, as Carrie would put it.
Who don't like being on tip of the spear?
Formerly CG Carrie would put it. That that's, you know, you're going to have a little bit of trouble there. But I know in the future all my characters will be there, and I'm excited about that feature in particular. And it's not like I can't use it now because I have Gear 13 characters, so I'll be able to play with it. It's just not something that's going to be the new norm for a long time. You know what I mean? So I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh God, the yawns are. I've been up since 4:15 this morning. It is 11:40 here. That's the reason for the yawning. It's not entirely my fault. I apologize.
Blame it on the time zones.
Joker mentions in the live chat, the ones or those of us don't have any Gear 13s and won't anytime soon, and that is a good point. I'm kind of surprised that they entirely locked relics behind Gear 13. I still think that there should have been like maybe relics 1 and 2 locked behind a gear level, and then the next one's locked behind the next gear level, and then the final
I would have liked
one's
to
locked
start
behind
at Gear
13 or
11.
something.
Like 11 you get 1, 2,
Yes.
12 you get 3, and then from 4 on you get at Gear 13 or something like that.
Yes, something like that would have been great, but apparently not going to happen. So that's disappointing. All right, what's this last question?
After all these questions and thinking about what may or may not occur, what is your current level of excitement for Lightside Geonosis territory battles? Much different here. Bell curve up by the right at 5. Like usual, people almost always select 2 under the highest when they're excited, but cautious. So
Skeptically optimistic.
yes, cautiously optimistic. That's what it is. That's what I was trying to go for too. So 5 and 6 had the highest numbers here. 4 and 7 on either side of that part of the climax of the curve, apex of the curve. 14% on 4s and 7s. So a lot of people excited for light side territory battles.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean,
I don't really have anything else to say regarding this.
What do you have? What do you have? What's your level of excitement?
6.
6.
My light side is really good. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see how it does.
I mean, I have some of those
I
random
have more
Galactic
fun
Republic
running light
Jedis.
side than I do dark side, so
Yeah, I agree. I it'll be interesting for sure. I mean, obviously, recently my dark side teams have become a lot better and more plentiful than they used to be. So I'm now to the point where I'm okay with either one, but I've always enjoyed light side anything territory battle better. So it'll be interesting going into that.
yeah, totally fair.
Someone wrote in the comments, please consider a dramatic reading of The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. And I am actually interested in that.
I am interested in that too. That is probably my favorite book ever. Every
So
time
good.
I have a friend that has a kid or something, I buy that book. It is freaking amazing.
Shel,
yeah.
anything, I loved Shel Silverstein when I was a kid. So good.
Didn't everyone?
I don't know. I didn't ask them.
Oh. What? No.
It's so toxic.
Oh. No. The Giving Tree is. It's so good. It's a great book. It is an absolutely great book. For so many reasons. Well,
Shots fired.
oh, we can discuss this in Discord after the show. I will defend The Giving Tree.
So let's see here. I didn't put this in the notes. Actually, before we get into that, actually, we'll do that now. Then we'll get into the Twitch sub giveaway. For those of you that are subs watching, I have the list up. I made it work. So we'll be able to give away prizes for our subs this week. But let's go to the QA and kind of scan through it and see if there's anything we want to mention. There were a few things I wanted to mention from it, but I don't want to go over the whole thing because it's kind of like reading a press release. Doesn't give any information. It's just a thing. Okay. So they got a picture here with, the people that did the QA, which was CG Eric, Top Hat, 154M, Cyanides, and SB Crumb. And you noticed one thing immediately, didn't you?
Rydiggs, my boy.
CG Rydiggs, who's not even listed in the people that are in the QA, is sitting there with Packers gear on. So,
yes, I know that because I certainly asked. I think I made a new friend. We are on the same page.
For sure. Man, I can't talk. Hold on one second. All right. Oh, let's see. Scanning through here. I like this. Kind of pointless to mention, but they're talking about changing the loading screen later this year, so thank goodness. Be nice to have something new to look at after all of this time. Someone asked about Lego Star Wars characters, and they said no, so I'm not actually surprised there.
Somebody asked about Lego Star Wars characters? What?
Yeah, if they would be introduced, and I'm like, really? They finally mentioned people might scoot over this and not mention it at all, but I'm going to mention it because they've never actually talked about it directly. Someone asked, are using modding services where an expert logs into your account to help against the TOS, and if so, is the punishment a permanent ban? To which they replied, yes, this is against the terms of service and can result in punishments up to and including a permanent ban. We recommend using SWGOH or other methods that don't involve people directly accessing your account. So I think I've told people that in the past that it was against the terms of service, and it could be a problem for you if you do it. Now, obviously, a lot of people have done it, and it was not a problem at all, but this is them literally saying it. So if you do end up getting banned and other people don't because you use that kind of service, they've mentioned it now in writing. So be careful, guys. Just be careful.
Interesting. So I kind of feel like while that is accurate, it's not the intent of the rule. I would be shocked if they actually did suspend anyone over that.
I think, I'm with you. I think the intent of the rule is really going against selling your account.
Yes,
because
I totally agree.
That is something that's definitely discouraged. So,
yeah,
you know,
because I'll be honest, I'm going to be gone for a week in November, and I'm probably not going to be playing SWGOH, so I'm probably going to be trying to find someone who can help me out with SWGOH. And I really hope that they wouldn't ban me over something stupid like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Or I may not. Maybe I'll just play on vacation.
I plan to play one of my accounts on vacation, so we'll see what happens with the other one. Because I don't have an easy way to log into the other one, since I play it on my computer. We'll see what happens. We should really discuss vacations. I have one coming up. You have one coming up. What are we going to do?
Oh, yeah. When is yours?
When is the first week of October?
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. Mine's November, so.
All right. At least they don't interlap. Welcome to Shattered Order Podcast, hosted by two people that aren't us. Other things they mentioned, unfortunately, they said, what are your plans to make Chirotechs more available? People said, or they said, we added them to the Championship Store, the Guild Event Store for Mark II Guild Event tokens, and as part of the daily activity completions. This is the part I don't like. We don't have any plans to add additional inflow sources for Chirotechs. No!
No additional inflow sources. However, they're not a bad value in the Grand Arena Store, and there is potential for maybe they will make the rewards a little bit better, maybe hand out more currency perhaps, and make those easier to get that way.
Totally on board with that. So, the very next question under that.
Don't get your hopes up.
When's the next puzzle, Crumb? Crumb says, the bees are getting ready to leave the hive again. It's literally one line. I'm going to have to ping SigSig and ask if his server's been breaking that down at all, because I'm curious.
Ooh.
But maybe we'll see a puzzle again soon. Those are always fun. I can't wait for the next one. That'll be super cool.
Very exciting.
They also mentioned about daily challenges, making old gear flow easier with an introduction of relics. They said this is something they have discussed. Personally, they would like to add new tier that is more relevant to the current power in the game that rewards additional gear, but they don't have any current design plans to do it. So no updates for adding an extra tier. What they did not rule out there in that wording is retooling the old ones. Now, do I think that they were hinting that they would reload the old ones? No, but it wasn't ruled out. So that's where my hope lies. Let's see. Here's that epic confrontation one I was talking about. Can you officially lay out the qualifications that make an epic confrontation event going forward? We'll codify it soon. We're working on another one right now, and we're figuring out the common elements. All the things you said are parts of the new one. So there you go. And I think part of that question must be missing because all of the things he said are parts of the new one. There wasn't really any parts asked in that question, so I'm not sure what he's referring
to.
Okay. Level cap increase. There might be. They don't have immediate plans for it.
That's a relief.
Are we going to see 6D through 6A mods eventually?
I would like to see that sooner than later.
Yeah. I agree.
The yawns are strong with this one tonight. Good grief.
I'm trying to think of it. Oh, here you go. I hope Wampa's whoever asked this question, I love them. But I hope the question was, and it's not really a question. It's got a question mark on the end of it. It says, I hope Wampa's relic is a tauntaun, question mark. To which 150M replied, every single character in the game is getting a relic icon. The Wampas is awesome. That's all I need to hear. As soon as I'm done with this QA, I'm going to go annoy our senior artists about their favorites. Update. Fulcrum, Kylo, Treya, C-3PO, and Wampa. So those are their senior artists' favorites. It was Wampa was one of the senior artists' favorites, so I'm happy with that. This is a pretty big one, I think, and I want to know if you agree with me. The question was, will relic progression impact crew power of pilots? And the answer was yes.
Interesting.
So
that's pretty big.
Not only is it affecting your arena, it will be affecting your fleet arena as well.
Yeah, so that's something you're definitely going to want to consider, especially on these multi-use characters like Han and Chewbacca. Going to be a pretty good investment for going to Gear 13 for sure. Maybe even like Akbar. Everyone's got Grievous, so we're right from Malevolence. General Kenobi is a pretty good choice as well, and he would get you ready for the Negotiator. So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
To answer Power Chew, I might have passed it already. I might not have, so I'll just mention it now. He said, is it weird? Sometimes I wish CG would address the community in a video or stream form. Someone asked them about that, and they said that they are interested in doing that. They just don't have the logistics for it now, but they're looking into it going forward. And I, for one, as a Destiny player, think that's a great idea because Bungie, most of their biggest announcements come in live Twitch streams, and those Twitch streams end up being seen by tons of people. They throw in video docs or Vidocs that are just really well made, really great. So if they were able to put something together that was similar to that for their announcements, I'd be totally on board with that. Only because I've seen already what they can be, and if CG were able to, do that in any way, even if on a lesser scale, it would be great. Now they went into Grand Arena. This is the one that bugs me, and you'll know why. But the question was, can we get an autofill when somebody only sets one team in Grand Arena, please? I cannot complete feats when there are no teams to beat. Top Hat, we've talked about it. We're still looking at the autofill tech intent and what all we want it to do. We have some ideas that we need to incentivize setting defenses more or change scoring around the behavior before expanding autofill more. It is definitely a topic of discussion, but lower than conversations around feats, scoring, and new types of GAC. So they are talking about it, but it is very low on the totem pole. I have not run into this yet, so I am not hot-headed about it yet. But if I do, believe me,
you'll get there.
We will talk about it.
I trust you. Yes, no doubt.
If I remember to join.
Hey, just popped into my head. I have another comment about the health and defense thing that you should think about. The modding we talked about earlier.
Okay.
If you go with high health, keep in mind, you're more susceptible to percent damage effects. Obviously, it doesn't affect crew, but other characters.
If you're waiting for me to comment, I didn't listen. I'm trying to find other things to look to mention from the QA. But for everyone out there that needed an extra sidebar for that conversation earlier, there it was.
It was there.
You looked upset that I didn't comment. I'm sorry.
No, I was just hoping you would comment. That way I wouldn't feel bad about yawning.
Oh, I didn't even notice the yawn. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. All right.
Glad to help.
There's a good chunk left. We'll cover this on a different time. If there's anything, I'll look through the rest of it again. And bring it up next week if there's anything to mention.
I haven't even read it yet, so I will probably read it this weekend, and maybe we can revisit it again next week.
Sounds good to me.
So
We'll start at the character spot
cool.
next week if there's anything to mention. Why don't you hit the music? Because I think it's time for giveaways.
You don't always have to pay for the best. Sometimes the best things in life are free.
Oh yeah, free stuff incoming.
Everybody loves some,
All right.
some free stuff.
Hell yeah, they do.
All right, so
Alrighty.
I want to mention this to everyone that is out there. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. If you link your Twitch to your Amazon Prime account, you will have Twitch Prime. And if you want to, for free, you can subscribe to the Shattered Order podcast. It really helps us out. Costs you nothing besides your Amazon Prime subscription, and it does help us out. And on top of that, for paying nothing and doing your Prime subscription, we give you money. So we're giving out giveaways for gift cards for the game for you to buy crystals to help you along your way. Once a month, we give a $30 Twitch gift card. And so we're going to give those out now to everyone that was a subscriber at this point. Yes, at this point. So there you go.
Exactly, at this point. If you were a subscriber at this point, whatever that means, you are eligible for the giveaway. All right.
Got
I will
47. Pick a number between 1 and 47.
I'm gonna pick 37.
All right, so the first winner is Joker 41. I think he's in chat.
Oh snap!
Joker 41 NAM is the winner.
Nice. Congratulations, Joker.
Joker is our winner. And we're doing what, 2 today,
I'm
right?
trying to find this. Yeah, we got 2. I'm trying to find the other list though, and it's not pulling up. I don't know why.
Didn't we? No, we had 2 Twitch this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What list are you trying to pull up?
Lists from. I pulled a previous list. I assume it's the same, but. Yeah, we'll just use your list because I cannot find my list.
All right. I'm going to get... Hold on. I'm going to double everyone... I'm going to say I'm going to double everyone's chances, but your chances are really the same. So... Pick a number between 1 and 94.
I will go with...
You got rockets.
Let's go with 13.
I'll say the hamster's turning in there.
Let's
All right.
go with the total points scored Thursday night.
13 is Stan from Cantina Viszla.
Oh, snap.
That's right. Congratulations, our good friend Stan from the Cantina Viszla podcast. If you have not heard the Cantina Viszla podcast, those guys are great. Go check them out. Love those guys. They've been going for a very long time at this point. So check them out. They're awesome. All right.
I totally agree. We need to get those guys back on. We were just talking about that last week, so we're gonna have to do that.
Absolutely.
All right, you ready to get destroyed?
Are we skipping this again?
I'll be honest. There is no way I can go through this.
I literally said we were doing it this week. I told people we were doing that this week. You can do it, I promise. We will keep this to 20 minutes. Start the
You're killing
counter, and we can do it. We can do
15.
it.
Let's do this.
All right, we'll see. All right, so I wanted to mention preparations for light side territory battles. I've had this written down for quite a while now. I just want to go over it and see what you guys think and put it out there for everyone, just to wrap your heads around. But basically, first part I wanted to talk about was characters that you probably need to gear for the light side GOTB. Now I've put them in categories here, so I'm going to actually give you a behind the scenes here and bring up the podcast notes on the stream so you can see them. But here's where I fall on probable most important characters. First up, I have 500 First Clones, 5's Echo Rex. They just got reworks. They're Clone Wars era. I think that they are going to be important. I don't think they're going to be named heroes, but I think they are going to be required for certain missions inside of Geonosia's territory battles. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
I wasn't paying. Sorry, I was pulling GoodNightPunk and not paying attention.
No, it's all good. I mentioned 500 First Clones being one of the most probable characters you're going to need for light side.
And they have some great synergy, so like there's a lot of options, a lot of different team comps you can go with. You can use Rex Lead, Shakti, soon to be maybe possibly General Anakin, whatever's coming. They offer a lot.
There's actually something I really need to amend this list, and I'm going to do it while we're doing this. But I would actually add Ahsoka Tano into this list with the clones. And I think the reason for that is they gave her a small little touch up when they redid 5's Echo and Rex, and I think that might have been because the missions in Lightside GOTB that are going to require 500 first will include her, and maybe a 5th that's unreleased, or this whole general Skywalker thing that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So I will add Ahsoka Tano as another must gear for this, because I don't think that it's really odd that they added the 500 first to her, gave her a little touch up out of nowhere. And I'm in my head, I think the only reason they did that is to make her synergize a little bit more with those clones for the light side territory battle. So that would be my first group. My second group is obviously Padme, because of the fact
Good one.
she was in the arena on Geonosis. She's a legendary character, much like CLS was in Lightside Hoth. CLS was a journey character, sorry, but Padme, legendary character, probably going to be required here. Going with possibilities as well to go with her, meaning Anakin, General Kenobi. Thinking of the 3 people that were in the arena that tied to the post, you know, you had Anakin, you had Kenobi, you had Mace. I think those are all, sorry, he wasn't post to post, but I also have Mace in the possibilities for important characters. Because of, I think if you were to pick 4 heroes for Geonosis right now, I would put Padme, Anakin, Kenobi, and Mace on that list. Those are the 4 I think are for sure shots. Would you agree with that?
And, yeah, I don't know that they're locks, but they are pretty safe assumptions for sure. I just don't know how many they would actually do, how many heroes. They generally keep that number down pretty low. And I'm pretty sure there's a character or 2 coming, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, barring new characters I don't know about, this is where I feel the important characters are. Mace, I did not put on the outside looking in, because I just feel like Mace had such a big part of what happened in the Geonosis arena when he took out Jango, that I put him up above these other 5. But I would say on the outside looking in, until we get a little more information on if they're going to be reworked, would be Shakti, Koth, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, and Isla Secura. Shakti I'd put a lot higher than the other 4, but those are the 4 that I would put in there as outside looking in. People, if you have time to work on, you might want to, just in case, and you'd be ahead of the game, but it's high risk, low reward if they don't end up getting reworked
100%. Yes.
Put in. So those are the I would work on the 4, 8 up above them before I would work on any of them. Well, maybe Shakti. I'd work on Shakti. But Shakti and the other 8 I would work on before any of those Galactic Republic Jedi. But this is the group that I think will probably end up being the most important for light side Geonosius territory battles. So
cool.
There you go. I'll do this. Now, this was added. Arena fight will be against the Reek. So I'm just curious what you think. The most likely scenario, the Reek went right after Anakin in the movie. So the Ackley went after Kenobi, the Reek went after Anakin, and the Nexu went for Padme. If you can glean anything from the actual movie, which the only others in the arena to touch the creatures were the Geonosians, we can guess that Anakin will be required in some way. Geonosians are required in the arena for the Ackley fight. The Geonosians were the only ones in the arena during the Beast part, besides Padme, Anakin, and Kenobi. So my guess is some kind of group of that involves Padme, Kenobi, and Anakin is what we're going to use for that special mission. Would you agree with that? Or if you thought it was something else, could you think of anything else that would be in there?
Who all comes in on the ship at the end to rescue everybody? I feel like those would be the people most likely, because they're probably going to be characters we don't have ready and fits thematically.
All right. Another important characters to think of in this territory battle. I thought of this today. I actually added this in here today. You can see how stoked Wink is that I added more to this today. Light side ship battles. Commanders. You can't forget about commanders for this. And I am going to need to work on this. As far as Mace Windows goes, mine is Gear 9. So having 2 commanders for your ship battles is going to be super important. So if you don't have Mace geared, you're going to want to gear Mace, because then you'll have 2 commanders for this. And eventually you'll have 3 if you're going for the Negotiator. But when this releases, I do not think anyone will have a 6 or 7 star Negotiator. So all you're going to have to use is Mace and Akbar. So if they aren't geared, you're going to be in trouble. So you're going to want to gear your commanders as well for light side territory battles. Since I'm not the ship guy, I wrote in here for you to add any ship recommendations. I'll only ask for one. If you were to gear one ship that you thought would be critical in light side territory battles, can you think of one?
Are we assuming I have them all started at 0 or where I have them now?
Let's say someone had them decent, like gear 10, and wanted to take them to gear 12 to make that ship perfect for light side territory battles.
Probably do that.
Which ship? Which is the ship that you would... For example, I don't have Baston or Scarif Rebel Pathfinder geared. Would that be something I should do? Do you think that might end up being better for
maybe
this?
A clone?
The clones? Those are
I
good.
think the clones would be pretty good. They don't really have a leader. I mean, I guess Mace, but whatever.
Galactic Republic ships was said in chat, as well as Anakin's ship was mentioned in chat. I could definitely see
which
Anakin's
we already
ship.
know is good, so I was ignoring it. Yes, I think that's the number one suggestion. You're probably going to want to have his ship ready for the new territory battle, I am guessing.
Looking back in chat, should totally be mentioned. Chickenbottom is pointing it out. I haven't mentioned Grandmaster Yoda once either. He is definitely a Galactic Republic Jedi that I didn't mention. I didn't mention Luminara or Barris Offie as well, now that I'm thinking about it. So these are all characters you can also put in there. But I would also put Luminara and Barris on that outside looking in. Yoda's worth gearing at any point in any game mode. So if you haven't had him geared, you should probably do that.
I totally agree.
One last thing I wanted to point out, Darkside Territory Battle has 2 out of 3 main teams, or 2 to 3 main teams, depending on how you look at it. Separatists, Geonosians, and Separatist Droids. Now, they're all Separatists, but they kind of, throughout the Territory Battle, they kind of get separated. So one of them's Droids, and one of them's Geonosians, and one of them is a mixture of Newt and Geonosians, or... You know, they kind of just rip them apart throughout the whole thing. So I think teams that can come from light side for Geonosians would be clones, who are also Galactic Republic, and Galactic Republic Jedi, as well as Galactic Republic. Those are the 2 to 3 teams out of Galactic Republic that I would guess for light side territory battles. Unless you want to throw in the Padme team as a team, but they don't really have a theme like the ones from Darkside Territory Battles. So
I agree.
That is what I'm thinking there. So depending on where you're at and what we learn about Lightside Territory Battles, those are the 3 teams I think that we're going to end up having for Lightside Territory Battles. And finally, taking all of this into consideration, last question. Wink, are you doing anything to prepare for Lightside Territory Battles right now?
No. Nothing. Not really.
Not even gearing.
I'm
clones?
hoarding. I'm hoarding people. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to kill Grievous and to kill clones. I guess that helps.
Okay. Well, it'll end up helping you in the end. I myself am taking my Gear 11 clones to Gear 12. After I get all my my 3 500 first clones to Gear 12, I think I have to choose between Padme or Ahsoka. And I think I'm going to go Padme and start that Chirotech farm. Super excited for that. But I think I'm going to go Padme after 500 first clones. Then Ahsoka Tano, because I already have General Anakin and General Kenobi at Gear 12. And then I'll start moving into... By the time I get those people geared, I should probably have information about those other Jedi from the Galactic Republic. So I might move into that after that, but we'll see. That's where I'm going right now.
Nice.
So if I were you, I would go 500 first clones. Then I would go with the... I would go with Padme if you don't have her. If you just unlocked Padme, probably go with her. And then Ahsoka if you don't have her. You know, not General, but Jedi Knight Anakin. Those are probably the best ways to go right now. While holding off on Jedis. Unless you love Jedi. Then you can just do whatever you want. So, there is also that.
Totally fair.
Alrighty then.
All right. You ready for trivia?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's time for the sexy bearded duo to battle in their SWGOH knowledge in the most exciting trivia event in the Outer Rim. It's time for the Shattered Order Trivia. May the Force be with you.
Alrighty, ready for some trivia?
I am. I want to ask one question for people to answer in chat while we start trivia, but let me know what you think of the new format for the live stream in the chat with the larger...
yeah.
I
like this.
I got my green screen set up, if you didn't notice. I was working it out and trying to integrate it into the podcast. I wanted to get our window bigger for the stuff that we show on the screen because it's just really small on the screen when we do the old way. So let me know what you think. And If you don't like it, we'll go back to the old way. If you like it, we'll continue to do it this way. But let me know what you think. All right, so trivia.
Cool. Shout out to A. Lewis, who went 6 out of 7 last week. Freaking crushed it.
That's freaking crazy, man. That's pretty good. I don't even remember what I got, to be honest.
I don't either. I think you beat me, though.
I probably did, let's be honest. I did beat you last week because it was the first time in a long time. So,
yes, that is true.
The topic of trivia this week is mystery. Tesh would not tell us what the trivia topic was, so we're going into this blind. We'll see what happens. If you're playing along at home, your topic or your code is 885-361. That is 885-361. If you're playing along at home, put in 885-361. Here we go. All right, I'm clicking the join button, getting things going.
All right. How many we got? We got, is it 5 or? He didn't say. Okay.
All right, starting it, it'll tell us right after that. One out of 5. All right, Wink made a bet with Sol and Tesh from Frequent Fighters. Do you remember the bet? Prettiest wins, most crystals spent wins, first to Kyber wins, or highest Galactic Arena Championship score wins. Ooh. Well, I know that one.
I cannot remember.
I hope you remember. Because I remembered.
Yes.
So.
And that would be first one to make it to Kyber.
All right, I'm trying to make this smaller on the screen so people can read the answers. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, there we go. All right, let's guess what Sol's score is as of Friday afternoon. All right, I see a trend here on what we're going for. Sol's score. I'm gonna go. All right. I forgot to read the answers. I guessed 10,806. What did you guess?
12,000 something.
Oh, geez. Yep, I got
or
it right.
11,000.
Wink did not.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I really, really, really hope you get this one right. I assume it was... All right. How about Wink's score? 11,569, 12,798, 13,445. Wink, I believe you. Don't let Tesh bully you.
What did you select?
I selected 11,569 because I did not see a way for you to be 2,000 points ahead of him.
Totally fair. That is correct.
All right. What is Tesh's score? 13,215. Tesh, you're just being mean. 10,214 or 11,809. I've got a guess here.
Oh. I know the answer to this one.
Holy crap. I didn't think that could possibly be right. But it was. Tesh has some score at 13,000. 13,000 something.
He's crushing it. He is
Holy
absolutely crushing
smokes.
it.
I don't want to talk about
impressive.
my score since I forgot to join week 2. Did I mention I forgot to join week 2? When you have an alt account, it sucks trying to remember if you joined or not. I should have checked. I did not. When it came up for me to set my offense and I saw that I didn't have the opportunity to set offense, I was pissed.
I can see why.
I was top 6 in our guild after the first one. I was freaking stoked. But
damn.
Not anymore. Gonna be looking real sad. All right, who is winning the bet as of now? No one. Gambling is a sin. Sol, Wink, Tesh.
I got this one correct, sadly.
No one is winning the bet. I'm going to dispute the answer to this question. Because no one is in Kyber League.
Right.
No one's in Kyber League. So how is Tesh winning?
Yes.
He's ahead. He's not
He is
winning.
ahead, but he is not winning. That I cannot disagree with you.
I clicked no.
That's
I got it wrong.
I think you got it correct. I am 100% with you. I selected the
So-
wrong answer, but I advocate for it to be changed.
Joker says I should shoot for your encased in carbonite title. I am actually doing that on my alt, so we'll see if I get it. But the problem is,
Very nice.
other people have not been fighting on offense as well, and I keep winning ties. So I'm like, I don't
Gotcha.
want this 1,000. Stop it. I want to be
Nice.
encased in carbonite. This is terrible. Stop it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's almost an achievement. of some sort.
If you can manage to stay in carbonite and get that title, it would be interesting.
Yeah.
A mark of shame, but only a very few would have it. So there is that. All right, Wink. You're still yawning. You're super tired. Why don't we shut this down right now?
That sounds amazing.
Everybody out there, I
Yeah.
want to say a few things. First off, I want to thank our amazing sponsors at Blue Microphones for not only sponsoring this podcast, giving us some great equipment to make sure this podcast sounds great, but also allowing us to share that with the people that listen to this podcast.
Dude,
Like
honest
tonight.
question. Have you ever heard a yawn so clearly? You haven't, and that's because of the blue microphone.
If you ever wanted to know, if you wanted to hear Wink's yawns like you were there in person, Blue Microphones allows that to happen. So, if you like this stuff, go check it out on bluedesigns.com. They got an awesome website, a lot of awesome products, and we'll still be giving away more stuff. I think we're a little behind, so we might be doing another one next week for bingo. We will see. So, check the Discord for that. If you aren't in the Discord, go to discord.me/shatteredorder. We hang out in there all week, have awesome conversations with everyone there. So check it out. You will not be disappointed. It's a lot of fun. Check that out. If you don't have Discord, you don't want to join Discord, and you have something to say to me and Wink, theshatteredorder@gmail.com is where you should do that. If you want to support the show, we already talked about Amazon Prime, giving you Twitch Prime. You can sub to the Twitch, or you can go to patreon.com/shatteredorder to support the show. We appreciate all of our Patreons, all our subs. You guys are awesome. I think that's pretty much wraps it up. The last one more thing, theshatteredorder.com. Go check it out. We got an awesome website. Wink keeps it updated. I'm mentioning it because I'm prolonging his sleep.
I do a terrible job at keeping that thing updated. Horrible.
Well, sometimes he adds new things like a gear guide. So there is that.
That I do on occasion, yes.
All right, everyone, that should do it for us. Wink needs his Winky. Winky?
Oh god.
Is that what they call
yes.
sleep? All right, so I'll check it out. Unless Wink,
Not sure
you
we'll have to come-
got something else to say?
Go Packers.
Oof, God, why did I even ask? All right, thanks everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Later.
Go Lions.